With the second half of 2.4 coming upon us, this next banner is something that we haven't seen before to my knowledge, 2 premium supports running at the same time. Sparkle, the queen of hypercarry supporting, and Jiaoqiu, the guy who got nerfed 1,000 times in the beta but is still pretty okay. Well, when it comes down to it, who should you get for your account? But I'll try and not just say the lame "it depends" answer, as it should be apparent that these 2 units cover 2 pretty different fields, with only 1 unit really overlapping with them, which we'll get to later. For now, let's explore their niches to see how they best work for your account. Sparkle is all about single target action advancing, with an SP positive playstyle that offers great damage buffs. She is most well suited for supporting hypercarry crit teams, which recently has given her a bit of an awkward place in the meta. Many of the new best DPS, like Firefly, Boothill, or really any of the 1 million follow-up units, have left her relegated to mostly supporting older units. She is similar to Ting Yun in that her kit's strength is very apparent, but just right now she doesn't exactly shine as much as Robin or Ron Mei at supporting the top dogs. However, this says nothing about her future potential, as if or when these niches are replaced by other playstyles, no one can really say how Sparkle's powerful kit will play into them. Right now, her best teams are with Acheron, Seele, Jingyuan, Dill, Xingxue, and Argenti. So yeah, very few top dogs of the meta. But if you do use them, then she's perfect for you. For other units like Yunli or Clara or Herta or Himiko in Pure Fiction, while Sparkle can work great for them, they prefer other supports, mainly Robin. So overall, Sparkle is in an awkward spot despite her obvious strengths. So if your account is more geared to more recent carries, she might not be the best for you. Similarly, Jiaoqiu is a rather niche support that is outclassed by other options in many different scenarios. Rather than having his strengths downplayed by the current meta, Jiaoqiu just suffers from the sheer competitiveness in his field as a premium support, as opposed to Sparkle, who is unopposed in what she is good at. He is technically as universal as Pela, providing slightly stronger debuffs and a much stronger uptime for those debuffs in exchange for much stricter gearing and a slightly more SP intensive playstyle. I'd say his most noticeable strength over other debuffers is how he applies his debuff, as he is able to apply the highest amount of stacks to any unit who comes onto the field, including any spawns in Pure Fiction and new waves in Memory of Chaos. This means that while his numbers are honestly not that impressive without his signature, they don't tell the whole story of his utility. This doesn't exactly mean that he is any better, however, in my eyes, as this doesn't change the fact that other supports are better at buffing the majority of the meta's carries, but it does give him a more noticeable strength over his direct competition. And about the strict gearing that I mentioned, he needs a lot of effect hit rate, which can make it difficult to make the most out of him, like running Pearls, running Keel, or running high speed on him. Still, even with these setbacks, Jiaoqiu has some niches. For one, he is clearly just made for Acheron teams, as his stack generation is leagues better than the competition. If you want an Acheron support, you cannot go wrong with him no matter what. Besides that, he is a very slight downgrade to Ron Mei in dot teams, which can be useful if you want to give Ron Mei to your other team, and he is also useful with ratio due to his infinite debuffs that don't have the single target problem that Silverwolf has. Besides that, he's like Pela, usable in literally every team, but rarely the best option. If you don't have a use for him in one of his specific niches, I'd say to skip him. Having the comfort of a universal unit is great for an account, but there are pulls that better achieve that objective for the average account. As you probably noticed, I recommended Sparkle and Jiaoqiu for supporting Acheron. So who is better for her? Well, here is a simple breakdown. At an E0 S0 Acheron, I'd go Jiaoqiu, but Sparkle is not that far behind at all. Jiaoqiu's buffs excel when he is paired with Pela, which might sound great as just a general strength, but this is more niche than it seems, as Acheron is really the only carry who wants to run the two of them together consistently. Besides this, at E2S1, Sparkle is a lot more competitive, and while Jiaoqiu is still just as good for Acheron, it gets to the point where Sparkle's better account utility might give her the edge for the average account, unless if you just really like Acheron and only want what's best for her. Alright, now that we're past the "it depends" answer, let me just say that I would generally recommend Sparkle over Jiaoqiu, just due to her having a more definitive niche that she is the best at. Although I would call Jiaoqiu the best debuffer in the game, the niche of debuffing only really matters for Ratio and Acheron. For everyone else, besides some marginal differences, it's just an alternative way of increasing damage, which brings him into direct comparison with the best units in the game. In all fairness, in the same vein that I talked about Sparkle's utility potentially giving her more strength in the future, you could say the same thing for Jiaoqiu's ult damage buffing and debuff application, because in the end, who knows what the newest carries are going to want a year or two from now. This is where it just comes to opinion and speculation, but personally I think Sparkle's action advance is a safer horse to bet on. But this is a territory I could be wrong on, as there really is no knowing. Although my real opinion would be to just wait 1 or 2 more patches for a Robin rerun, as she is even more universal than both of them in my opinion. But if you just generally want a premium support and you don't want to wait, Sparkle more than likely has some kind of use for your account. With that being said, if she doesn't, please just be smart and don't pull. Saving is not really talked about too much in discussions like these, but I really think it's an underrated option. With both of these units having some caveats to them, the best advice I can generally give is just to be honest on what you want and what you need, and do your best from there. That's where I don't have any answers. Either way, they are great boons for your account, despite me trash talking both of them so much, sorry about that. So get whoever you think would make your account more whole. That's everything, subscribe to here and my TikTok, watch my other vids, bye!